Something that happens a lot of the time is that Unai Emery his press conferences are lost in translation a little bit. So, this Sky Sports News post-game press conference, there was nothing wrong with it. Good questions. And yes, it was a little bit weird at the end when he stayed silent, but I have a reason. First of all, when he says we're not contenders, that's lost in translation. Because if you followed what he said afterwards, he said we're still not being contenders. What he means is, at this very moment, Aston Villa are not doing enough to signify, to justify a top four placement. But this is not new. He does it all the time. He's a perfectionist, somebody that just wants the very, very best. Even when they're playing well, he says, we're not contenders. Think about all the questions he's been going about, he's been given about, our Premier League title contenders. He completely nullifies them every single time because he believes that in order to reach the absolute very best is almost impossible. He will continue to be a perfectionist in that moment. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is the fact that I'm getting a little bit tired about, how English media completely forget about the fact that English is a second language. So a lot of what he says in English is really misunderstood. Sometimes I really feel that the interview should be in Spanish, at least for articles, and then, translated so you can understand exactly what he means. Because I promise you, when he talks in Spanish, it's a completely different interview. Look, here's the other thing. Villa did not play well against Everton. Everton deservedly won. But I think it was also a message for Unai Emery to suggest the fact that, this squad as a whole really needs to be strengthened. There was only, one winger on the bench. There was no strikers, obviously, after Malin's exit, etc. So I think Unai Emery just showed a lot of frustration. But again, you need to understand that a lot of what he says is lost in translation because English media continue to forget that Spanish is his first language. I wish, the tables would be turned sometimes and you would see how difficult it can be for somebody to go to another country, speak in another language and try to completely express what you mean. So plenty to work for Villa. January transfer window remains an absolute aggressive last 2 weeks now. We need to strengthen, but let's not get it twisted here. Let's not go crazy. He still believes that Villa can compete. It's just that at this very moment, he's still looking for that perfection, which may never come because that's just the manager that he is.